Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Olson. I live in Minnesota with my husband and our 3 children, Sophie, Soren, and Svea. And Sophie is 6.5, Soren is 4.5, and Svea is 14 months. So life is very busy and full, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I typically share about motherhood, homemaking, and homeschooling. And I think today's video topic is a combination actually of all 3 of those, although it falls mainly in the homeschooling category. Today I wanted to talk about homeschooling during life changes or life's transitions. I feel like such a big part of our life is actually transitions and these times when you feel like different seasons are in flux or you're shifting from one season of life to another. There are things like new babies being added to the family, job changes, moving across town, moving across the country. All sorts of things can happen on a yearly basis, at least, in a family. And so I wanted to speak to that today. A little bit of background for you. I have 3 children. We have 3 children, like I mentioned, and I feel like we very recently added our 3rd baby, but it was last year that Svea was born. And right now she's in that transition again from being a baby to being a more mobile toddler. She's walking and practically running and climbing around everywhere, and she's really on the go. So that has been a whole shift for us as well. But just plain adding a new baby to a family, which we did in 2023, can shift so many things in the homeschooling arena. We also live in 2 places throughout every year as a family. That's partly one of the reasons why I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom, because we choose to live together as a family. My husband's job takes him 2 hours away from our home for about half of the year, every year. And so this is our apartment where I'm filming this video right now. It is 2 hours away from our home, and we are in this apartment for the first half of the year, roughly, and then the latter half of the year we are 2 hours away from here in our house. So that is definitely a lot of life transition, I guess you could say. It's a lot of transitions that we have every year. Sometimes we travel back and forth more frequently than we did this past year. I kind of stayed a little more put in our apartment this year, 2024, and that's fine. But I just wanted to give you this background so you know that I totally understand the whole moving thing. We move back and forth every year, and then also adding new babies, and just every year involves more kids getting older and everything shifting as a family. So I understand, and I wanted to share some of the tips that I have for you about homeschooling in the midst of all of this. These tips are going to be a little bit more random categories, I guess, but this is all related to homeschooling while you're in the midst of life changes. First of all, don't underestimate the importance of food. I know that doesn't sound like it's related to homeschooling, but it truly is, trust me. If you have decent, healthy breakfast options available for you and your family, that will help you have a more smooth morning. It will help the morning feel less chaotic because people won't be melting down, mama included, and you won't throw off your day with indecision or with a sugar crash. I will also argue that knowing what you're having for lunch every day is also huge because it allows you to focus on that school time, focus during that school time with your children instead of wondering in the back of your mind what you're going to make in an hour, and if you need to thaw some meat, or if you needed to run to the store after school time, or something that just feels a little more stressful for you. It's so nice to already know in the back of your mind what you will be all having for lunch that day. I do actually have a free 10-day meal plan linked down in the description box for you. It's a 10-day family meal plan. You could possibly stretch it to 2 weeks. I just wanted to err on the side of caution or be a little more reserved with that guarantee there. But a 10-day family meal plan that includes some good snack ideas and some good breakfast ideas to lean back on, I thought would be helpful for you. So definitely check that out down in the description box if you're interested. It also includes a printable grocery list. My next tip is not to let the lack of a homeschooling space, a dedicated homeschooling space, keep you from doing school. The beauty and the flexibility of homeschooling is that you can truly do school anywhere. You can do school in a waiting room at the dance studio. You can do school at a local library if your home feels too chaotic. You can do school in the car. Or if you park somewhere early, when you arrive early somewhere, you can do school anywhere. And that's part of the beauty and flexibility of homeschooling. Saying to yourself, we don't have our homeschool space set up yet, or our homeschool corner isn't ready, or life is just crazy, is not a great reason not to do school. Of course, we still have accountability from our various states and school districts and from the government. But what I'm just talking about is, especially in these younger years, because I have pretty young learners, I don't want to let the thought that, oh, we don't have everything set up perfectly, to keep me from doing school that particular day. You can just plain jump in pretty much in a minimal way wherever you're at. And yes, sometimes you do need to take a break if it's a truly chaotic moving season or something like that, and that's fine. It's something you can, of course, determine as a family. But what I'm talking about is just not letting that discouragement of things being in slight upheaval to keep you from doing school. And for us, we really love having these little desk trays. I can link them in the description box down below for you, because sometimes they're on a really good sale, a deep discount on Amazon, and we have loved them. We have two right now, one for Sophie and one for Soren, and they're basically a breakfast in bed kind of tray, a breakfast tray, and we can set them up on the floor. They're the perfect size for a child, even our 6.5-year-old, and we can set them up even in a big reading chair as well for some independent work time. So that is a great way to have a desk pretty much everywhere you go. And yeah, I love those desk trays. My next tip is that having a morning basket routine can save the day a lot of the time. And morning baskets are a great way to cover multiple subjects at a time that otherwise might get they might otherwise be hard to work into your day. And you have this sweet time together as a family then, sitting down and working through these subjects. That could include things like catechism or Bible stories even, calendar time, art, some history, maybe some seasonal books about planting seeds or spring or something. And it is so wonderful to work some subjects in, kind of lump them all together in a certain dedicated time every day. And a morning basket is kind of a grab and go thing as well. You can have a bin just full of where you keep your catechism or your children's Bible or your calendar activities, maybe some art cards to look at together. And I actually do have a morning basket video up on my channel here, and I'll link that down in the description box for you too. It's from fall 2023, but honestly not much has changed about our morning basket routine, and we have really been loving doing it consistently this year, probably more than any other year. So definitely look into doing a morning basket routine. I think those can often save the day a bit. My next tip is to have every child's most basic necessities for school stored together in a bin, especially if you're in the process of moving, or maybe you have a new baby and you're nursing the baby on the couch and you need the kids to be able to go and grab their school stuff. Instead of having it all neatly organized way up high in a cupboard in the kitchen or something like that, you might just want to have a system where everything is in a bin, easily accessible and simple for your children or yourself to pull out. Related to this would be the idea of paring it down to the 3 R's as subject necessities. That would be reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's kind of the way the 3 R's have been described in the past: reading, writing, and arithmetic. And basically, if everything else is going by the wayside, the other subjects are too tricky to get out all the science stuff or something like that, I would recommend falling back on those 3 R's. For us, we really love our math workbooks. They are from the Critical Thinking Company. I have a whole video actually of a Critical Thinking Company haul up on my channel here. I will link that down below as well. But we love the Critical Thinking Company, and so Sophie and Soren right now are both working through math workbooks made by them. And yeah, I highly recommend that company, and it's a grab and go kind of system in which you have a workbook and you just turn to the page where you left off the day before. And we have so enjoyed them. Not just me as the parent, but the kids get a kick out of them, and they are truly learning great math skills through those workbooks. And those kinds of workbooks, like the Critical Thinking Company, can be a lifesaver when you just need to really pare it down to the basics during a busy season or season of transition. We also really love our Explode the Code workbooks, and I don't know that I've mentioned them very much on this channel yet. I probably need to do an update video about some things that we've tweaked as the school year has gone on. I know I did kind of a mid-year-ish update, which you can also watch on my channel here, but we have been loving our Explode the Code workbooks. They are perfect for us in our family's busy life for phonics instruction, and I have been seeing great strides in my kids' understanding of phonics. Soren, who is in his second year of preschool, is loving the get ready for the code, get set for the code, and go for the code. And Sophie is also working through Explode the Code workbooks at this point and loving them too. So those are another great way to get some of that phonics instruction in more of an open and go format. My next tip is don't underestimate the power of books in your child's education, in your homeschool time. Reading stacks and stacks of good literature, good children's literature, read aloud books, those are hugely important and beneficial. Books also serve as a wonderful reset button for your day, and they can actually be a reset button at any time of the day. It doesn't have to be just during school time or just at bedtime, you know, reading a book before nap or reading a book before bed. Books are such a good reset button, especially if you're in a busy life season full of change, or, you know, maybe you're nursing a new baby, maybe you guys have moving boxes stacked all around you. Maybe just take a little time, even 10 or 15 minutes, gather the kids to you and sit on a couch or on a moving box and read a book together, and you'll just find it brings everyone such a sense of peace and togetherness. It is wonderful having read aloud time as a family. We love chapter books for read aloud time. I love children's literature, so I'm always up for a good children's picture book reading session too. So don't discount reading books to your children too. If you can dig out some of those books out of the moving boxes or find a stack of books from the library, definitely enjoy books together as a family, and it's so important for your kids' attention span, background knowledge, vocabulary levels, and all sorts of things like that. My next tip is that school does not have to start at the exact same time every day. And I am a huge fan of consistency. I think consistency in homeschool start time is great. And while that might be ideal, it's not actually mandatory to do school at the exact same time every day. The consistency factor that really matters is the fact that you are doing school. You are having school time, not just that it starts at 9 a.m. every day, although I do really prefer that when I can. Another thing to remember is you can do school on the weekend. You can still do school, you know, based on your family's schedule. You could do school on a Sunday afternoon or evening. You can do school on a Saturday morning and just kind of let it flow with the rest of the week. Friday morning school, then Saturday morning school. It does not have to be Monday through Friday. And of course, you can determine as a family what you want to prioritize over the weekend. Maybe you do have other things that you need to do. For instance, we go to church on Sundays, but then we're a little more open on Sunday afternoons. So sometimes we do school time on Sunday afternoons as well. But if it's something you're interested in, doing school over the weekend is a great way to maintain some of that flow, consistency, some semblance of a routine. A couple tips for doing read alouds during the day. You can actually do read aloud time during a meal. Maybe if your husband eats faster than you, he could maybe pick up the chapter book and read that to the kids. Or if you ate breakfast earlier in the morning, you can read to the kids during breakfast. Maybe when you wait in the car, if you arrive somewhere early, that could be a good time for reading aloud. And maybe at the park when you're all sitting together eating a picnic lunch, that could be a great time for reading aloud. And then for us and our family, we love our Yodo players. They are an easy way to get some wonderful educational audiobook content, and I can link my maybe past videos or blog post or both down in the description box for you if you're interested in those. But Yodo players actually have an app on your phone as well, so I can use my app on my phone to play our audiobooks through the car's speakers if we're driving somewhere. So we've definitely listened to Frog and Toad or some classic children's poetry while we were in the car. And then another tip for homeschooling during life's busy seasons, I think this relates to homeschooling, is to have a screen-free quiet time whenever possible. So what I mean is every day, if at all possible, have a 1 to 2 hour quiet time. Now we've really worked our way up to being able to do up to 2 hours of quiet time every day. And when the kids were younger, it was more of nap time or a whole mix of all of that. I address quiet time a lot more in my online course, the Present Mama Playbook, but I think that having a daily quiet time, even amongst really busy seasons or crazy days, really helps to save your sanity. It gives everyone a little bit of breathing room, a little space from each other to think our own thoughts and to have that fun, independent playtime. Our kids do use Yoda players during that quiet time, but that's not mandatory at all. And we have done years of quiet time without Yoda players too. So I have more about quiet times and how we really facilitate that in our family in my course, but I do want to recommend making it a habit to have that screen-free, so not watching television, quiet time separate from each other during the day. I think it will really help save your sanity and make the day feel a lot less chaotic. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to not miss out on any new content coming your way, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I want you to know you are not alone in a busy season of life, and I'm cheering for you from the other side of this camera right now, and I hope that it was encouraging to you. I also want to remind you to check out my homeschooling playlist on this channel. So I've saved every homeschooling related video into a playlist, and I have a video actually about how to set the stage for a more peaceful homeschool morning. I think that might be really helpful to you and helpful for you in a busy season that you might be in right now. I also have a couple videos up about like our morning basket video and one about how to start homeschool preschool. I have 2 videos about starting homeschooling. It's both general encouragement and then some actual tips and tricks for you. So definitely check out that homeschooling playlist here too. And if you feel like you're climbing out of the chaos a little bit and you're ready to try to accomplish your to-do list in this season, definitely check out my free webinar. I will link that down below as well. I feel like I've said that a lot in this video. I'm linking lots of stuff down below, so definitely check out the description box. But I have a free webinar all about productivity secrets for moms of young children. The webinar has 4 of my best tips or secrets for moms of young children when it comes to getting your to-do list done without completely running around and trying to accomplish all of it only while your kids are sleeping. And if you don't have outside childcare, this webinar is also for you. I wanted to remind you that that 10-day family meal plan that I mentioned earlier is also linked down below, and it has a printable shopping list for you too, plus a couple recipes that are my own recipes. I have a couple others linked in that meal plan that are not my own recipes, but it's a really good mix there of snack ideas, breakfast ideas, and other things to hopefully help streamline your week and take some of the stress and pressure of planning meals off of your shoulders. And I also am excited to announce that my online course, the Present Mama Playbook, is currently open for enrollment as of this video going live. It is not going to be open for enrollment long. The doors are open only for a limited time, so definitely check out the description box for the link so you can learn more about the Present Mama Playbook. I took a bit of a break from relaunching the course from past sessions of the course. First of all, because I had my 3rd baby and I was prioritizing Svea, of course, and then also because I was revamping and refreshing the course. I was refilming some videos, a good number of videos for it. There are over 130 videos in the Present Mama Playbook now, plus a giant PDF full of note-taking sheets and worksheets and checklists, all sorts of good printables in there too. I'm also hosting it on my own website too, instead of over on Teachable. So I'm very, very excited about the Present Mama Playbook. Again, doors are open only for a short time. I hope you will join us. It has been hugely helpful to other moms, and I love hearing that. It's a passion project of mine because I want to help you feel like you can run your home smoothly behind the scenes and most of all be a more present mom with your children.